Thank you for coming. We have a few speeches planned for today, so we're going to get started on those. And then afterwards, we'll have an open gallery walk again for you to look at some more art. So I'm Olivia, HELFRICH-TAPIA. If you could come closer, that would be nice. So I'm Olivia, HELFRICH-TAPIA. I'm a junior and one of the organizers for today's event. And we are so excited that you're all going to hear from some of our wonderful speakers, including Principal Henry Turner, EDIE PIKE, RAQUEL FORNASARO, and to finish off with a performance from Simone Isabelle. Sadly, Destiny Palmer could not be with us today in person, but she did create a wonderful video that's on the table right there that you are free to press play, and if there's any issues, just ask me and I'll help out. So you might be familiar with her mural. That's by Starbucks in Newtonville, and there's also a plaque by that mural. So if you want to go check that out afterwards, that would be great. So we are a club here, NEXTGEN Voices, and this year we divided into 3 working groups so that we could get a lot of stuff done. We created Zoning Day, which was a internet Zoom webinar event all day focusing on zoning reform in Newton. And we also worked on the Vote 16 campaign, which focuses on lowering the municipal voting age in Newton to 16 years old. And we also created this event. So we're so excited. Thank you. So we're so excited to finally see it all come to fruition. We started working on this around December, and it's really exciting to see all of it come together finally. So today we have over 18 pieces of art from student artists of color in Newton that you can look at, including photos, paintings with acrylics, watercolors, drawings, essays, and monologues. And we also have art from RAQUEL FORNASARO at that table, and she also created a wonderful video with some of her other art at the table in the back. So we also have 2 art activities today. We have a mural poster where you can write on a sticky note what it means to you to be anti-racist in Newton, or how can you support people of color in Newton. And we want to get a great list of ideas from people in our community, as well as a mask decorating activity on that table. And we have child-size masks, adult-size masks, so got it all. And we also have a table dedicated to Forge, which is Families Organizing for Racial Justice. And it's a coalition of students, teachers, and parents, all in the Newton community. And we definitely encourage you to learn more about that and get involved. It's a great group. And we also have an information station, which is at the same table with Raquel's video. And we have a handout. And on the front are some local organizations at North, at South, and citywide, including Forge. And on the back are some great upcoming events that we encourage you to get involved with as well, having to do with social justice and racial justice. So without further ado, we have MADDIE FABRY, who will be introducing Principal Turner.
Hi everyone, my name is MADDIE FABRY, and our first speaker of the day is Henry Turner, the principal of Newton North High School. Along with being an amazing principal, he's an active member of many community organizations, such as Forge and the Human Rights Committee at North. So, thank you for coming.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is my first time speaking in front of a microphone, I think, in a year. Whoa, that feels weird. This is amazing. Thank you, NEXTGEN Voices, for making this our first community gathering in over a year. So can we just give them a round of applause? This is incredible. And as I was walking around, I was just commenting about how nice it just feels to be together as a community again, and I'm looking forward to many more of these kind of events. Just a short story is that this morning my daughter was asking me why I was going to work on April vacation, and I said I was speaking, and she asked what I was speaking about, and I said art, and she gave me this very weird look because she knows that I am the least artistic person that she knows, at least, and that is true. But art in Newton North is something we're very, very proud about and have a very long history about. And there's a couple of ways to look at that. One is that we have, on any given year, as many students participating in fine and performing arts as we do in athletics. That is very unique for a high school. So one way to sort of think about how extraordinary our arts program is to think about just the number of students that we work with. Second is in terms of quality, and I think that it goes without saying that whether it is in our theater program, in our art program, in our music program, is that we have some of the most amazing teachers and students who are coming out of our programs. And so in terms of quality, from students who are going to Mass Art, School College of Art, or RISD, or other great arts programs, to students who are just really interested in the arts. We have extraordinary talent that is coming out of our program, and that's something to celebrate as well. And something that I'm specifically I'm very personally proud about is the commitment to representation, diversity, social justice, and anti-racism throughout our arts programs. It is rare for a program to be so passionate about making sure that all students, regardless of what they look like, regardless of where they live, regardless of their skill set, their ability, that everyone is welcomed in our arts program, and that's something that's very special about Newton North. And I'll share that my first year, I've been reflecting the last couple of days that I'm completing my 5th year here at Newton North, and it still feels like I'm new in a lot of ways. But my first, it was my first year, Adam Brown approached me for a meeting, and I thought it was interesting that our theater director was going to be setting up a meeting with me, and he said that they wanted to perform Clybourne Park the next year. And Clybourne Park is a 2-act play, one set in Chicago. The first act is in the 1950s. It is an all-white cast, and it's about black people moving into the neighborhood. The second act is 50 years later, and it's an all-person of color cast that is responding to white people moving into that same exact neighborhood. And it is a very powerful play that talks about race, socioeconomics, gender, and it has very graphic and intense language. And it was just really incredible to think that this is something that not only do the faculty want to take on, but our students took on. And if you had an opportunity to see Clybourne Park, I mean, it was extremely powerful in terms of setting up the kind of conversations that we want to have for all of our students to have, and also to be reflecting on what does it mean to be more anti-racist in this community, and how to make our school better, how to make our community better. I think that's true for all of our arts programs, whether it is the conversations we're having in our jazz program, for example, or the type of work that we're seeing out of our arts and how students are expressing themselves. And so today, I think, is a great example of this kind of continued commitment. Really proud of our students, really proud of NextGen Voices for thinking about this. I'm honored for you to invite me, despite the fact that art is something that I don't feel like I am skilled at yet. So thank you very much for having me. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Gabby Vogel, and next up I'm going to be introducing EDIE Pike. EDIE is a senior at Newton North and has been a pioneer for racial inclusivity in the arts throughout Newton. And she created and directed the first ever Lost and Found production at Theater Inc. at Newton North in the fall. And this show combined monologues, songs, and dances to create a cabaret-style production centered on telling the stories of people of color. And here's EDIE.
Hi everybody, I'm Edie. Like Gabby said, I'm a senior at Newton North. I'm a member of NextGen Voices and played a small role in helping everyone organize this event, so I'm grateful for everyone else and their super hard work on making this happen. I have been involved in a lot of more performing arts like dance and theater for pretty much my whole life. And I really believe that at the center of both of those things is storytelling. I got involved when I was younger because I was kind of always interested in the performing arts, always had a knack for it, but it wasn't until recently that I began to explore racial identity through the performing arts. I had the opportunity to direct the very first Lost and Found production this year at Newton North, which, like Gabby said, explores the stories, the personal stories of students of color from the community. I also directed a production outside of North with the Newton Theater Company, co-directed, sorry, a project called the Monologue Project, Common Threads, which was similar to Lost and Found, but explored the personal stories of Asian American girls and women throughout the community. And I also, although I haven't had as much personal experience with the dance side of things, I have become a lot more interested in researching and finding dancers through social media and just online that explore their racial identities and the stories of people of color through dance, and I've been so interested by it. And I think that storytelling is a beautiful thing on its own, but it also plays such an important role in our fight for racial justice. Because before we can make change, we need to listen to the folks who are willing to share their stories so that we can figure out what we need to change. It has to be a two-way street. There has to be collaboration between white folks and people of color so that we are all working to the same goal and not necessarily for our own benefit. And I think that there are so many moving parts that are unique and individual in the social justice movement, and I've loved finding my place in the storytelling side of things, using two forms of art that I've been passionate for my whole life. And I hope you all continue to engage with the stories, whether it's listening to peers, reading books, or attending events like these. So thank you so much for being here, and please enjoy the rest of Creative Minds.
Hello, I'm MAMIS, and next up we have RAQUEL FORNASARO. She's an artist living in Boston. Her work has been shown at multiple venues, galleries, universities, and museums, including Boston MFA and the MIT Media Lab. Her work is displayed on those paintings over there, and we have another presentation on the computer in the back that has more of her work and more on her process. So thank you so much, RAQUEL.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me here. Bear with me because not only has been a year that I don't see more than 5 people at once, but I always worked in the studio and I really don't have, let's say, social acumen. But I was really excited when I was invited for this event. I'm a parent in Newton, and I'm also an immigrant. I got here in the U.S. about 15 years ago, and it was an interesting learning process to be in the country. I'm originally from Brazil, a city called São Paulo. We have about 35 million people living in the city, and Brazil is a majority black population. Not to say that we don't have issues between races, but we don't have the difference in colors. We don't call people by their color. So it was a learning curve for me to see how here people are separated, not only by how they look like, but also their accent. Everything seems to be in groups. So the first adaptation was to understand where I fit in. I never had that issue growing up. Everybody just knows everybody. It's like the difference is mainly poor and rich. And coming here and saying hello to people and seeing the reaction between what people would tell would say hello back to me was already hard for me to understand until I started reading about history and the entire system that goes around and oppresses people that are different than white folks in the country. So the beginning of my artistic life in here in the country, I started going back to my home. So every time I would go visit family, I would take pictures and actually be able to look to my own culture in a different way. So things that it seemed normal all at once didn't seem so normal. Things that seemed okay all at once didn't seem so okay. Because here now I had that vision that if we want to have a society that it's equal to everybody, that treats everybody in an equal way, I would like to be able to tell everybody to just shed all the nomenclatures, BIPOC, Latinx, whites, blacks, just especially as an artist, color makes no sense when you are talking about humans. The way you act, the way you work, you will all be based on what you are and how you're raised. So once going back and doing the work and having children in this country, it really woke me up to a little bit more. And hearing my own kids talking about their own color in different way. I have one lighter child, one darker child, and once I got them talking about, well, if while the previous presidency, if we are separated by the president, I would go this way and I would go that way. So I realized that even inside my own family, that mindset was permeating in a negative way. So I try to work with my work and in my family to have the openness of thought and heart, to say that everybody's exactly the same doesn't mean if where you came from has nothing to do with the way you act. You travel around the country, you travel around the world, and you see that there is good people and there is bad people in the same amount, and it's up to the good people in the world to actually turn around and say, when we see something that it's not okay, really put our foot back and complain and talk and educate as much as we can the younger generation to have open hearts and love to everybody in the same way. A little bit later, I realized that I still don't feel, I've been here for 15 years and I still feel that I'm a little bit an alien. I'm a US citizen. I feel more American than Brazilian now. I spend most of my adult life here. And my Portuguese is getting pretty bad. But every time I go back to Brazil, I feel like I'm missing a piece of me. And I think that the last thing I would like to leave you guys with is that it doesn't matter, again, your color or where you live. We're all citizens of the world. And it's up to us to keep open, to keep with our hearts open to all people, doesn't matter where they're coming from and who they marry or anything like that. I appreciate the initiative of the Next Generation, this organization, and it really warms my heart to see that Newton, it's a very welcoming city, and it has so many languages, and the culture, the diversity here, it's wonderful to see that everybody's together in a way that other parts of the country are not so much. So I try to promote inclusivity and most recently climate awareness through my work so we can all move towards to a world that brings us more inspiration and more positive vibrations. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ella Yolen, and next up we have Simone Isabel. Simone is a junior at Newton South High School, and she will be performing X Factor by Lauryn Hill.
Sorry, everyone. Sorry. Sorry about that. Hi, I'm Simone. Sorry about that. Hi, I'm Simone. I'm a junior at Newton South, and I've lived in Newton for my whole life. So this is a song that I grew up listening to a lot, and I think that, as a lot of people have said, growing up in Newton can sometimes be hard as a person of color and can sometimes feel very isolating, and I think that a lot of music by Black artists, especially in recent years, have helped me connect to my identity as a Black person and as a Black person living in Newton. So this is a song that I grew up listening to. Yeah, sorry. It could all be so simple, but you'd rather make it hard. Loving you is like a battle, and you both end up with scars. Tell me who I have to be to gain some reciprocity. See, no one loves you more than me, and no one ever will. Is this just a silly game that forces you to act this way? Forces you to scream my name, then pretend that you can stay. Tell me who I have to be to gain some reciprocity. See, no one loves you more than me, and no one ever will. No matter how I think we grow, you always seem to let me know it ain't working. No, it ain't working. And when I try to walk away, you'd hurt yourself to make me stay. is crazy. Oh, this is crazy. I keep letting you back in. How can I explain myself? As painful as this thing has been, I just can't be with no one else. See, I know what we have to do. You let go, and I let go too. See, no one's hurt me more than you, and no one ever will. No matter how I think we grow, you always seem to let me know it ain't working. No, it ain't working. And when I tried to walk away, you'd hurt yourself to make me stay. This is crazy. Oh, this is crazy. Care for me, care for me. You said you care for me, there for me, there for me. That you'd be there for me, cry for me, cry for me. Said you'd die for me, give to me, give to me. Why won't you live for me, care for me, care for me. Said you care for me, there for me, there for me. Said you'd be there for me, cry for me, cry for me. Said you'd die for me, give to me, give to me. Why won't you live for me? Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everybody. I think we can all agree that everyone who performed and spoke today was incredible. So let's just give everybody another round of applause. So the fun's not over yet, though. We still have some time to do some gallery walks for the rest of the incredible works of art from people of color. But yeah, we just want to say thank you, everyone, for coming out. Thank you for those who participated in the event. Yeah, this is incredible. And like Olivia said, it's just really amazing to see this come together. Yeah, and we hope you all enjoyed. So right now we're going to have a gallery walk so you can look at the work of people who spoke today. And you can also look at various students, their work. And we also have the mural where you can write down what it means to be anti-racist in Newton. And we also have a mask station and an information station. Yeah.
I was just reminded that at the Forge table, there's also a sign up for a Juneteenth event. So we'd also encourage you to use their QR code to sign up for that in June.
Yeah, that was fucking awesome. Oh my god.
Well, no. I don't know. Live, it has to be ready. So excellent work.